Hello and welcome to my channel. This is going to be the first video and it's going to be introducing my 2026 project pan. Unfortunately, it is like the end of the first week of January when I'm filming this, so some of the products in my project pan are actually at my office, so I can kind of regularly work on them and reapply them. So they are not here to be shown, but I will mention them when I get to the category. I have been doing Project Pan on my own for almost a decade now. I am not always incredibly successful, uh, mostly because I tend to be a little unrealistic with Project Pan and I tend to kind of move on and off Project Pan. But this year, I think with filming it, I will try to be more consistent. I will do monthly updates, and I think I've chosen a group of products that actually I could be successful on. Now, the main reason why I find that I have never really been successful at Project Pan is because, one, I used to not wear makeup very often. Especially during COVID, I wasn't wearing a lot of makeup, and then when I was in school, I wasn't always in school 5 days a week, and when I was working, I also wasn't in the office 5 days a week, even pre-COVID. So there was a lot of just no makeup days. So even when I feel like I chose some really great products, I wasn't really wearing makeup so often. This past year, I have been wearing makeup a lot, in 2025, I mean. So I feel like in 2026, I will be able to get through a lot of these products. My main issue is, although I have quite a lot of makeup, which you will eventually see throughout the course of this year, as I do kind of, I'm going to be doing monthly inventory rotations. I tend to wear the same products over and over again. If I find a routine that I like, I tend to stick with it. It's easy, especially when getting ready in the mornings. I am someone who often lays around in bed. It's not even like I sleep in. I just lay in bed for much longer than I should. And I just don't really give myself a lot of time to get ready in the morning. So for me, something easy, simple, that I can do all the time is frankly the easiest for me. And so oftentimes I tend to just use the same products over and over again, which means that I do neglect kind of my other products. So this year I'm trying to be smart about my project pan. I'm kind of project panning stuff that I know that I will be able to kind of use every day. And on top of that, I'm trying to kind of rotate a monthly kind of makeup inventory, like a little capsule inventory, and we'll see how that goes. I will kind of do videos for those as well to talk about them. This one is just to focus on my project pan right now. So, yeah, I mean, let's get into it. So I'll start off with base products. So I'll start moving some of these out of the way here, and we will kind of get started. I'll start off with pure base products here. And so these are, in my opinion, what I would consider pure base products. So the first thing I have here is a primer. This is the Danessa Myricks Yummy Balm, Universal Balm, the Skin Blurring Balm. This is a kind of silicone-y primer. I mean, I've used it a little bit, but not much. I used to be a big primer person, and then I kind of stopped using primer, to be honest. I'm trying to get back into it because I have this. Everyone really raves it and loves it, and I do think it's fine. Like, I don't know if it makes much of a difference in my skin, but this is something that I will be kind of trying to pan this year. And my goal isn't necessarily to finish it this year, it is just to hit pan, because I don't know if I can see myself finishing this whole primer in this year, just because I tend to kind of go really heavy on skincare, not so much on primer. And I do, when I use this, I do not use too much of it. So we'll see how kind of this one goes. Then moving on to kind of base products, I have two concealers. So this one is a lot older. This is the Becca Under Eye Brightening. This one, again, I just want to hit pan on. I bought this before Becca completely left Sephora. So this is decently old. Like, this is before Becca was kind of bought out by Smashbox. So this was when Becca was still its own company. So this is quite old. I do quite like it. It is a little just emollient for me, so I don't love it using it alone. It's not my favorite, but I've been trying to use a little bit of it to kind of brighten. I find that even though I like this product and it works well, I'm going to be honest, I don't really have dark under eye circles. Like, that's not really a problem that I have with my skin, so this one tends to be something that I don't really need to use too much of. So we'll see how much progress I can get done with this, but my goal is to hopefully pan on it this year. And then honestly, however much progress I make with this product is probably going to be thrown out at the end of the year. It's just old. I don't want to keep it around for too long, even if I use it and like it. If I really like it enough, then I can just buy a new one some point down the road. If I feel like I'm really missing something like this in my collection, which I honestly probably won't be, because again, like I said, I don't really have dark under eye circles. Like, that's not really a problem that I have very often. So yeah. Then I have this concealer. This is the Haus Labs concealer, and my shade is in number 10. And this I actually use as a full foundation. I use this all over my face. I am not a big foundation person anymore. I feel like the older I get, the more I realize that concealer kind of just works for me. I use it under my eyes, kind of around my nose, my chin, my mouth, and then I will then take a little bit of product and then use it kind of on the center of my face, so kind of just my T-zone, the center of my kind of cheeks, a little bit on my forehead and my chin, and then that's it. I don't use makeup on the sides of my face. I have pretty clear skin on the outside. It's just the inside. Sometimes I can look a little bit red, a little bit uneven, and so that's when I kind of use this. So for every day, I really don't use foundation. I just don't. I don't know. So this is pretty easy to get through, but because I am honestly quite sparing with this, I do think this is going to last me most of the year. So we'll see. I did just pick this one up in the recent VIB sale in November of 2025 because my last one was almost finished, so I opened this new one. So this one is still pretty new. Just started using this I guess in November, really, so it's still quite new. So we'll see how long it takes me to actually get through one of these if I use it basically every day. Speaking of the fact that I essentially use concealer as foundation, and I don't really wear foundation, I do have some foundations. I don't have a lot, but I do have quite a few because I do have a very interesting skin tone. I have a very olive undertone, but it's also incredibly golden warm, and so oftentimes foundations that are both olive and golden are quite dark. Like, they definitely sit very medium, or like light medium, but I'm more light. And so for me, when I find a foundation I like, and if it has an undertone I like, it tends to be about a shade too dark for me. And so for me, I often have to take a foundation shade that I like and then mix it with something a little lighter. So I always tend to have to buy foundations in two. So that's kind of why I have a bit of a foundation collection, but also because I did used to wear foundation until I realized that I quite like the Haus Labs concealer just all over. This is the oldest foundation in my collection. This is the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin in Y255. This used to be my holy grail color. Now, this foundation is actually a little too dark for me now. The Y255 in the old Makeup Forever HD was perfect because it was, the Makeup Forever HD was more like medium coverage, and so it wasn't as dark. It was easily sheared out on my skin, but it had the perfect undertone, which is this Y255. It was that golden olive that I'm talking about. This one is a bit more full coverage, so this one is a little bit actually darker than what my skin tone is now and generally kind of is. It probably matches my summer color a little better, but still in the winter right now it is like almost 2 shades too dark. So this one, it's mostly going to be a summer shade, or it'll be something that I wear kind of on nights out, but I do kind of want to get through this foundation. I want to get my use out of it. It is the oldest foundation in my collection. It's about maybe 3 years old at this point. So I want to use it up. Makeup Forever has discontinued this color shade and they haven't created an equivalent in any of their other foundation lines, which is really unfortunate because Makeup Forever used to be, you know, that girl for me at least, and now they don't even make very golden olive undertones anymore, which is unfortunate. But anyways, this is something that I want to kind of use up. It is just old really, and I want to get use out of my foundations. So this is something that I'll definitely pull out if I'm probably going out or going out for a weekend, going out at night, something where I might just want a little bit more foundation and I want a more makeup-y makeup look. This is something that I'll probably pull out. Again, this is something that I just want to see how much progress I get in it. This is completely full. It's basically unused. I really only like swatched it once. So that's this product. And again, similar to this concealer here, this is something that I want to use up as much as I can this year, and then once the year's done, I'm gonna throw it out because like I said, it's 3 years old. I do have slightly acne prone skin, and so I don't want to keep something in here that could cause me acne, and if this does start to cause me acne, it's just gonna get decluttered, to be honest. I have not used it yet. I have not tested it, so honestly we'll see what happens. If it breaks me out, if it causes a reaction, it's gonna go, and maybe I'll replace it with a different foundation. If it doesn't, then I will use it up until the end of 2026, and then we'll see how much I was able to use up, and it'll just be decluttered anyways. Then I have 3 powders. So I have my Laura Mercier setting powder. This is kind of my holy grail powder. It's been my holy grail powder since, oh God, since I was in high school, which was more than a decade ago. But this is just the regular translucent. It is great. I love this. I love a translucent setting powder, and I just want to finish it. I mean, it's gonna be easy. I use this almost every day, so we'll see. Usually this powder can take me a full year to finish, but we'll see because this one I opened last summer, I believe, in 2025, so I should probably finish this near the summertime of this year, maybe. We'll see. But if I do, I also have the Huda Beauty setting powder. This is in Banana Bread. Oh my God, it's not focusing. I'm so sorry. This is in Banana Bread. This was just a travel size. It's basically full. I've only used it like once or twice. I don't love that the Huda Beauty ones have kind of a tint to it. I would love a more translucent shade, but I know that people swear by this one, so I did buy it to try it. So once I run out of my Laura Mercier, I'm going to focus on finishing up the Huda Beauty one, and my goal is to finish those 2 completely by the end of the year. And then here we have this Hourglass, what is this, an ambient light, diffused light. This is how much is in there. You can kind of see it's like decently used. It's not, it's not fully domed. It's used kind of a bit, you know, it's a bit flatter than usual. So this, again, I want to finish. The way that I use this actually is really interesting because these are my setting powders, and I know that this is more of a finishing powder, but I really don't use it kind of all over. I actually use it as a way to blend in powder blush when I layer it over cream blush. I like to dip my brush into a powder blush and then dip it in here, and it kind of just gives a nice diffused glow to a powder blush, so I don't kind of get too heavy with a powder blush. And so that's kind of the way I like to use this, and so I have found a way to kind of make this part of my everyday routine, so I am quite excited for that one. All right, now that kind of base products are done, let us now talk about cheeks. So these are all the cheek products that I have. So the first thing I have is Benetint. This is, you can't even see, but it's like at the bottom. It's like there's like nothing in here. I actually use this more on my lips than I do on my cheeks, but I love this product. I swear by it. It's not as good as other staining products these days, to be honest. Once I finish this, I do have a backup of this because I was ready. At the 20% off VIB sale in November, I did buy a backup. It's right here. So, but I do want to finish it. I mean, I don't think I'll have a problem with it. I use this on my lips every day that I wear makeup. It's just a good tint to put under stuff. And so this is not something that'll be hard to use. And then sometimes I use this on my cheeks as well if I'm feeling it, especially on a no makeup day. Like if I genuinely, I'm not putting on makeup, but I want to go out and look a little presentable. I do use Benetint on my lips and on my cheeks a little bit just to add some color to my face because my face does often look very flat because I don't have a lot of redness in my face at all, which is a weird thing to complain about, but I don't have very rosy cheeks. So oftentimes if I don't put a little bit of tint on my cheeks when I go out and I'm not wearing any makeup, I can look a little dead. So I like to just pop on a little Benetint. So this is not going to be a hard thing to use up. I use it every day. It's almost done. So then for blushes, I actually have 3. I have 2 cream blushes and a powder one. So the first one is this LYS blush, this cream blush, and it is in the color Higher Standard, no, Self-Love. Higher Standard? I think it's Self-Love Shimmer. But it's just this kind of warm nude with like some kind of glitter shimmer chunks in there. I like this one. I do. I really like the LYS cream blushes. I think they're really good quality and I think they're not expensive at all. They're just so nice, and I think this is a nice neutral, warm, kind of natural everyday blush. And my goal for this one is to just hit pan on it because I don't think I'm going to be able to finish this completely, especially since I have another cream blush in my collection, but hitting pan on this would be amazing. So that's where this one is starting off. And I actually have a powder blush to match with this one. This is the Tarte Party Blush, and this is one of the ones that everyone kind of has. It's a very neutral blush. It's looking a bit more beige on camera, but it is slightly more of a pinky nude. And this one I think just pairs really well with this blush on top. And so whenever I use this one, I will just use this one as a powder to set on top of it. Just a good one. You can see it's very, the embossing is a little bit worn down, but you could still very clearly see the embossing. So not a lot of progress on this one. This was a really old blush in my collection, plus it's small. So this one, I definitely think this is one that I want to try and finish because it is so tiny, and it is kind of because it's a neutral blush, I think it could kind of go over anything and everything. So we'll see with this one. We'll hope. And then the other blush is this Makeup by Mario blush in Raspberry. This is my oldest cream blush. And so you could see this is where it starts. So it's this really bright, hot pink. It's looking really red on camera, but it's actually quite hot pink. It is, it looks kind of orangey red, but it's more of it's like really pink in real life, but you can see this is kind of where it's at. I marked it in black, and then this dot is where I want to be. So I want to finish at least half of this product, and we'll see how this goes. I haven't really started on using this one yet just because it is really bright pink. So this is definitely going to be more of a summer color for me. So we'll see how much of this I can get into using because it is quite old. And I do find that the Makeup by Mario cream blushes are not my favorite formula. I find that they wear off really easily, especially if I don't set it with another powder blush. I find that they disappear. They don't wear very well, to be honest. So yeah, I would rather kind of get through some of those Makeup by Mario blushes and kind of get them out. Then I have 2 contours and a bronzer. So the first thing is this NARS Laguna Cream Bronzer. This is my only cream bronzer in my collection, and you could see there is a slight dip in this product. My goal is to just hit pan on this one, and I think that's a really attainable goal because this is, again, the only bronzer, cream bronzer in my collection. The only other bronzer I have is a powder bronzer. And the only thing is that I do use very little of this product because I kind of tap my brush in here and then I tap the rest kind of like on the back of my hand to kind of make sure I don't pick up too much product, just because I find that I don't like to look overly bronzed. I just like a little bit of color. So that's why my goal is to just kind of hit pan on this one rather than completely finish it. Although I really do love this bronzer. It is perfect for people with olive skin tones. It does have a slightly like green olivey base to it, which is really nice. So if you are olive, I think you will really like the NARS Laguna because it's not orange, it's not too pink, it's just perfect. So there's that one. And then I have the Fenty Beauty matchstick in the color Amber. And this one, that says how much I have of it, which is really not a lot. Did I mark this? I don't think I did, but this is how much I have of this. It's really not a lot. I think I can finish this. I use this, again, every day that I wear makeup. So yeah, that's the matchstick. This I just want to completely finish up. And for me, I just want to clarify, when I finish a product that's kind of a twisty tube like this, I'm not going to go in and scrape at the bottom, because I'm just not the kind of person that would do that. If you are, power to you. I'm just not ever going to do that. I have too much makeup to be scraping product. Once it kind of flattens, I'm done. So that's kind of how that is. And then I have the Kevyn Aucoin Sculpting Powder in Medium. This is my favorite sculpting powder product. This has been my holy grail sculpting product since over a decade, probably. I use this all the time. I repurchase it consistently. This is where I'm at. The middle kind of broke. I do have to repress it, but my goal is to finish this, and I don't see a problem in that. I mean, I do use this sparingly. I don't use a lot of it. So who knows if I'll finish it completely, but I know I'll get through it a lot, and I have no problems using this product either. So that's this product. Now moving on to eyes. I only have 4 eye products because okay, if I'm being honest, although I love eyeshadow is the first thing to go for me. Like, I have to do my, my lip product, my cheek product, my face, my eyebrows, but like mascara, eyeshadow, if I'm running late, that's the first thing that I'm like, I'm just not gonna put on mascara. I'm just not gonna do eyeshadow. Because it's like the one thing that I can kind of forego in a makeup routine, and so it doesn't make sense for me to include too much eye stuff in this project pan. But I do think the stuff that I have included is pretty good. So the first thing I have is this eyeliner. This was an old gift with purchase. This is a Clinique eyeliner in Intense Ebony. This one, I don't know how much is in here because it's one of those retractable liners that once you twist it up, you can't push it back down. So I have no idea how much is in here, but I do want to finish it, and I don't think this will be a problem for me to finish. I essentially have been using it almost every day that I've been wearing makeup in January, so this should be a-okay for me. Then I have this Makeup Forever eye primer. This is how much has been used. It's not too used, but since my goal in 2026, oh my god, is to wear more eyeshadow, I do think that this is something that I should be able to mostly finish. It's like one of the only eye primers I have in my collection too, so it's the only one that I'm able to use. Then I have this Charlotte Tilbury Color Chameleon in Champagne Diamonds, which is just kind of like this gold champagne color. This is how much is in there, and I want to get to this point, and by this point I mean I want to sharpen it. I want to use enough that when I sharpen it, this kind of sharpened line goes right under that line, so this Sharpie marker line is going to disappear. Hopefully I use up more, but I think this is a lot more of an attainable goal for me. This one I use to actually line under my eyes to brighten. So we'll see how this goes. Then I have this ColourPop Super Shock shadow in Falling Up. I thought that this was a good one to add into the collection because, into the project pan, sorry, because it's a nice neutral kind of everyday shimmer. It's a good kind of product to use kind of every day. If I don't know what to do with my eyes, I think this is kind of a good one and done eyeshadow, which is why I chose this one, because it feels a lot more attainable. This one I want to try and at least pan, which I know that the Super Shock shadows are really easy to pan, but I'm going to do my best to not kind of just dig into the center. I'm going to try and go around, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that is kind of the eye category. All right, now the last category is going to be lips. And like I said, I do have some products in my office, so I will name them. I have a Buxom lip gloss in the color Katie, and this size is like one of those tiny value sizes, and it's essentially full. So that's something I want to finish up. And I also have my Clarins lip oil in raspberry. Both are currently at my office, at my desk. So unfortunately, I do not have it here to show you, but I do have these to show you. So the first thing is this Fenty Skin Lip Mask in Vanilla. I love this stuff. I use this every night. I don't think this should be a problem to use up. I can't really tell how much is in here because it's one of those twisties, but you know, when it finishes, it finishes. This should be kind of like more of a gimme product, to be honest. Then I have this lip liner. Again, another gimme. This is MAC Whirl. Yeah, I just want to finish this up. It's been a long time coming. It's one of my favorite lip liners. I mean, it's so inny-winny. I think this is something that'll easily be finishable this year. I have this Dior Addict lip tattoo in the color, oh God, what color is this? 761. It's a pink. I'll show you. It's like a pink. It's definitely, I use it as more of a stain than anything. It works well. I don't even know if they still make this. I want to finish this up. I love using stains. Stains are probably my favorite. I always love using stains alone, or I like using stains under lip products. I find that it just doubles up on wear when it comes to a lip product, especially because I naturally have very, my lip color is very nude. Like it's a very, oh God, what's the word? I just have really like pale lips. And so often when I don't have a color on my lip, I can look a little bit dead. So I always like to use a lip stain regardless, because even if my lip product wears off, there's still some leftover color there. And so I don't think this will be a problem to use up. I also think it's really old. It's one of the oldest products in my collection, so I want to use that up. Last thing, another old product. This is, I think, the oldest lipstick in my collection, my oldest bullet lipstick at least. This is the NARS Audacious Lipstick in Jean, which is this kind of like burgundy red. This one I want to try to use up. I don't really use red every day. However, it's coming off a lot more brick, but it is more of a burgundy. It's more of a purpley red in person, I would say. But this I kind of use more kind of on the center of my lips, and then I rub it out, and I've been liking using it that way. Probably gonna be really slow going that way, but you know, some days I can use it fully pigmented and other days I will rub it out. But that is essentially all the products in my makeup project pan. Let me shove all these back into view. Obviously, again, missing some of the things in my office, but this is currently what my project pan is looking like at the start of 2026, and hopefully I'm able to kind of reach my goals on everything, and I will be making monthly update videos. So